let me show you. This is the largest grocery shopping trip I have ever done in my life. And it is gonna be the biggest meal prep that I've also ever done. So fingers crossed I can manage it all and figure it all out. But check this out. My entire truck is packed. I mean, literally the entire thing is packed. Hey y'all, so this is day 2, and yesterday I showed you my trip. Came home and I was planning on recording as I got some meal prep started, but I didn't get around to that. But I'll show you what I got accomplished. Today we got some meal preps done. We have manwich. This is Italian sausage, and that is going to be for spaghetti and lasagna. This is normal sausage. The rest of this is going to be for pizza. We got scrambled eggs and cheese and sausage, and those will be for breakfast burritos. This is enchiladas, burritos slash tacos. These are going to be for breakfast sandwiches. And then we have breakfast bakes, which is biscuits, eggs and cheese, sausage, and gravy. This is day 1. Today we're just going to work off of where we left off from yesterday. So to start today off, there's a pork loin. I'm going to get this cut up, slice it for pork chops. And then after that, I'm going to get all the onions and peppers cut up. That way those will be ready to go. Yesterday I had enough left over from my last meal prep of the onions and peppers, so I was able to just use those and throw those into the meals yesterday, but I did run short, so we have to get those prepped up. So, come on with me. Now, I did go to Sam's Club first yesterday, and that is where I got this pork loin, and I don't know if anybody else goes there, but if you enjoy pork and don't like spending the money that it costs at Walmart, I highly recommend going to Sam's Club, because this 7.98 pound pork loin cost me $15. You cannot beat that, considering those little pork loins at Walmart cost almost $5 just by themselves. So we're just gonna start this. I want some pork. Josh does this pork and rice, and so he needs pork chops for that. And then I want to cut some pork chops for, I don't like this knife, so I'm gonna switch. And I want pork chops so I can do a fried pork loin. So we're just gonna get these going. I don't know if you're like me, but I have a favorite knife. It's not the knife you're supposed to use for everything, but it's the one that I use for everything. And that's okay. Now this end piece, they're not that great. So what I'll do is I will put those into the one where I'm going to fry them. That way I can just pound them out and throw them in and fry them, and they'll be good to go. These are a little bit better. There we go. So cutting from the fat side up is a little bit easier. Okay, so that works out perfect for 3 meals. That gives us 8 perfect slices, and then those little leftovers that I was talking about, I'm just going to throw one of those. This one I'll have 2. I'm going to throw those just in the thing because who cares? It's still food. It'll work. We can just still use it and it'll be fine. And then this, even though like if we wanted to do something else, say we wanted to throw it in the crock pot or something, it'll still cook like this and shred up if we wanted to do it that way. If not, we have it already ready and it's good to go. So I'm going to be making a Italian pasta, and I like those veggies to be in strips. So that's how I'm going to just take one of each of these. I don't know how you cut your peppers, but I've seen a couple different ways and I've tried them, but I always go back to my original cut the top out way. And because these are going to be cooked, they're fine to get frozen. If you wanted them to stay fresh, you can't really freeze them. They'll just get mushy. Take one of these and put them with other ones, and the rest of this I'm gonna just chop up into chunks. So yesterday with the meal preps, I cooked 10 pounds of hamburger. I threw the rest of the onions and peppers that I had, and I portioned that out. You saw there was the manwich, and then the enchiladas and the tacos. Well, the tacos, I just put taco seasoning on top of everything. I do a can of diced tomatoes, and I actually leave the juice for those tomatoes in there. That way I don't have to add water when I put the taco seasoning in there. I prefer it a lot better. So both of those meals, I add a can of tomatoes and a can of black beans. And then for the enchiladas, I just put a can of enchilada sauce in there. And I'll either, whenever I cook those, I'll either cook that meat and then go ahead and make them into burritos and bake them that way, or we'll just be lazy and make our own burritos straight from there. We prefer it baked, but sometimes we just don't feel like doing that. But for the breakfast bakes, I made, let's see, what did I make? I did the sausage, I made gravy, and I cut up 2 cans of biscuits, and 1 can went onto the bottom. I sprayed the pan down just so it wouldn't get stuck whenever it's cooking, but I cut up 1 can and chunked it onto the bottom. I put a little bit of the gravy on that bottom mixture, and then I put a layer of the eggs, the cheesy egg sausage. And when I made the gravy, I barely put any sausage in that, and I put the sausage in the eggs and cheese instead. You can do it either way, but to me that just was a little bit easier. So I covered that first layer with the egg and sausage mixture, and then did another can of biscuits chopped up on top, and then I covered the entire thing with the gravy. Did that for both of those. For the lasagna that I'm going to be making, I actually left a little bit of the hamburger out, and I'm going to mix that with some Italian sausage, so it'll be a little bit of both. I'm not a fan of hamburger in my spaghetti sauce. I don't know, it just tastes weird to me. So I figure we'll just stretch a little bit farther for all the meals and mix it, and hopefully it won't be too overpowering with the hamburger. And as you can see, I don't do these any particular way. I just chop them. They don't need to look pretty. They're just going to get thrown in stuff, and no big deal. So even if you didn't want to, or didn't have the patience, or just wanted to kind of get comfortable, you don't have to make your meals completely ahead of time. So what I've been doing is, I usually, in the past, I've just chopped up all this stuff and I just throw it in freezer bags. That way, whenever I go to cook a meal, I'm able to just kind of throw whatever I want in there. It's already chopped up, it's already ready to go. And that alone is a tremendous time saver. So even if you just do that, it is extremely helpful. I got pepper seeds all over me. All right, so there's these. I'm just gonna put these in here for now. I may, with some of the meals, like for my breakfast burritos, I think I want my onions to be cooked a little bit. So I think I'm gonna saute some of the onions and maybe throw some of these peppers in there. That way they're cooked already. I just don't want them to be crunchy in the breakfast burritos. Ideally, I would have cooked them with the sausage, but like I said, I ran out, and that's okay. We can do a separate step. So I have this bag. All those tops and stuff are in there. We'll save this out for the onions. I'm actually going to need another bag for the onions. And then what I do is, well, if I've had all these prepped up, I actually have, instead of wasting my bag, I mean, you can write on there, I know what this is, but this was an old pepper bag that I just used from last night. So it's not trash, I can reuse it. So whatever of these peppers that don't get put into an actual meal yet, I can just throw in this bag. And then any meals that we make in between all the pre-made stuff, it's already ready to go and easy to grab. And I have 10 pounds of onions, so I'll be doing that with those as well, because I won't need all of those right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a pan out and get some butter in that, because I am going to cook some of these onions and peppers together. That way they're ready to go. I hope you can still hear me. I had to bring a fan out because I am sweating my butt off. So right now, let me get some of this stuff out the way. Like water whenever they come out, so don't need too much. Hopefully I can do this fast enough that it doesn't start making me cry too much. So all of this stuff these can all go into your bag and be used. Obviously, if you're going to do that, make sure you take any stickers off. Now, I have learned all of this stuff by watching another YouTuber, and if you're interested in seeing her stuff, because she does everything home cooked, I mean everything, and she is phenomenal. And truthfully, this is all just a copy of what she does, and I have learned from her over the last couple months. But her name is Becky, and she's at Acre Homestead. So if you're interested, you can go check her stuff out. I love watching it. It's really, really inspirational for me. It's exactly along the lines of what I enjoy to do, but what I just do not know how to do. So to find somebody that is exactly what I've been looking for on teaching is fantastic for me, because it has really pushed me, forgot sticker. It has really pushed me to keep trying and to keep doing more. So this bag is basically full. What I'm going to do is grab another bag. What I've done the last couple times is on the days that I prep, I cook chickens, and then I just throw all this in there after the chickens are cooked, and I just cook some stock. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to keep this stuff until another day. I actually, in my stock pot, I have chili cooking, and that chili is going to be for chili dogs, chili Frito burritos. When we do normal chili, we do chili and rice sometimes, so that it extends it out. We don't have to use as much chili. Loaded baked potatoes with chili, and so that will go a long, long, long way. And what I did for that is I actually just got dry beans and cooked it that way, because it is so much cheaper. So much cheaper. And so I got 4 pounds of black beans, 4 pounds of pinto beans, and 3 pounds of kidney beans. And I let those soak overnight. And so this morning they were ready. I drained them and filled them back up with water. And I will show you, I didn't get individual seasoning packets just because I needed so much, and I got like a container of chili powder. Now ideally in the future I want to be able to make my own chili powder, but one step at a time. But I will show you the container, and truthfully I have so many beans, I really needed 2 of the little containers of chili powder. So what I did is I just added chili seasoning, cumin, garlic salt, or garlic powder and onion powder, just to extend that out. Just that one container wasn't enough. And then whatever, the day of, if it's still not seasoned enough to our liking, then we will just season it more. Okay, so that was 4 onions. I'm gonna get thrown in here. Tripping over everything. use that. And that's just in here. So that'll cook down. And I definitely know I want to throw those in my breakfast burritos. And, oh, I lost my list. Oh, my lasagna. I want to put it in there. And I really like onions and peppers in my burgers. So I don't know if I'll put them in there. I might. But while those are cooking down, the onions are starting to get to my eyes now. Here is the chili. And this is my 22 quart stock pot that my dad got me for my birthday. And let me tell you, it is everything that I ever wanted. So we got all this, and this is actually done. So I'm going to turn this off, that way it can cool down, and I'll be able to separate this out tonight. But that looks delicious. This is what I used, and like I said, this was 7.3 ounces. It's kind of hard to tell because I don't do math very well, but I know for a fact I needed at least 2 of these, possibly 3. When this cools down, I'll try it just to see what the flavor is. But like I said, I have the other ingredients that I can just add more to it. And then the taco seasoning, eventually I will make my own, but I did go ahead and just get a big thing of taco seasoning this time. To me, it's better than all them little packets. So I'm going to go in another room right now and let my eyes cool down because they're starting to water. I'm going to get the rest of these cut up and finish sauteing those, and I will come back. Alright, so I finished cutting the onions, and I did cry like a baby, but I have bag number, half a bag of all the onion tops and peels. I'm going to get the air out of those. And these will go into the freezer until the next time I make chicken stock. I got a huge bag of cut onions ready to go. I got a small bag of peppers. I'm going to throw these in the freezer, but I think I might end up having to use these in a little bit. I did take 2.5 onions and slice them up, and this will go for the Italian pasta. And then our sauteed onions and peppers are almost done. So now I am going to get this mess of a table cleaned up. That way I can start the breakfast burritos and get those going and knock that out of the way. Use this table as one huge prep station and get going. Originally planned on having all this done by the time everyone got home. It's starting to look like I'm not going to do that because I am a terrible procrastinator. Absolutely terrible. I mean, I'm good at it, but my management skills are terrible. My procrastination is on point. So I'm just going to wipe all this stuff. It's just seeds and stuff. all of the breakfast burritos. Now I used 18 eggs, and I don't know, I get the long things of sausage, so I don't know if that's 2 or 3 pounds. I'm gonna say I probably used 2 pounds of sausage, and I was able to get 17 breakfast burritos. Now I could have very easily stretched that farther and made, I probably could have made another 18 eggs, and the amount of sausage that was in it would have been just fine. I could have stretched it farther, like if I would have added hash browns or anything like that, fried potatoes. But for now, it was an easy one, and I'm able to knock that out of the way, and there are 17 of them. So those will get put into the freezer. I'm just going to put them off to the side right now. I have mixed the Italian sausage and onions and peppers up for lasagna. And again, for my bowl. So I got ricotta, and I've always been worried about freezing some of this stuff, but if you're questioning whether or not something can be frozen, truthfully, just walk down your freezer aisle. Almost everything can be frozen. There are some things that the consistency can be a little off. This kind of stuff's probably one of them, but I think baked together with something else, I think it does just fine. I'm going to mix this ricotta with a little bit of sour cream. I got these darn flies. Keep flying around. There's 3 of them. Now, when you are freezing stuff, some stuff does need to be cooked before it can be frozen. I'm going to do, I don't know, 3 scoops of that and call that good. So funny thing about this, if you know me, you know I absolutely love to cook, and I cook all the time, but I have never ever made lasagna. So this is the first for me. I don't know why I've never made it. It's always been very intimidating for whatever reason. So, oops. Today is going to be our first. Alright, that is a lot. I don't know if I'm going to need that much, but we're just going to go with it. Now, I got normal lasagna noodles. There are noodles that say they're no bake. Well, everything that I've seen so far has said that it does not matter. They're going to cook just fine in the containers. So, I don't know. We're going to try it out. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully that's the case, and then they'll be just fine. it. Oh my goodness. When we cook it, we don't forget the cheese during that time. Gosh dang it. Okay. Smaller family, you can stretch. I have these containers, which is half of the container that I'm using. So if you're a smaller family, you can make it in these. You can double all these. So I just made 3 of these. You could easily get 6 of them from here. Same with the breakfast stuff. I made a half of one because that's all I had left. And instead of doing the 2 biscuits on the bottom, or 1 can of full biscuits on the bottom, I only did half the can on the bottom, and then the next layer I only did half the can, the rest of the can on that next layer. So you can stretch all of this stuff out tremendously if you're a smaller family, or even if it's just yourself. I mean, you can take a day and prep all this stuff and you're set for weeks, if not months. Alright, so I got 3 of these prepped up and they are good to go. There's just a little bit left in here. Just get it out of there. I am going to get this stuff cleaned up a little bit. I'm going to wrap these up. Now I will say, when I was at Sam's Club the last time, I got a big thing of aluminum foil. And I figured since it was such a big pack that I could spend a little bit less and get just the normal foil instead of the heavy duty. I really, really regret that decision. I do double wrap everything, but the normal foil compared to heavy duty is, I mean, night and day difference. Even double wrapping it, I just don't like it. Now I'm stuck with a huge roll. It's not going to go to waste, but I do wish that I would have spent the few extra dollars and got the heavy duty kind. I would still double wrap everything, but it wouldn't be as flimsy and I wouldn't be so concerned about it tearing while it's in the freezer and all of that stuff. So I would recommend heavy duty foil. I am back again. I had to regroup on things. So I have 3 of the lasagnas. I went ahead and made the bags of the mix for the Italian pasta. So I just put the peppers and onions in the bag, and then I separated that meat into a separate sandwich bag. That way I can cook the onions and peppers first, and then I'll just throw that meat in there whenever it's ready. I I still have to make pasta dough for that, and then I will freeze that as well because we like that with homemade pasta. I had enough onions and peppers with that I was able to do a separate bag for fajitas, and then for that I have a bunch of bags already frozen of chicken that's separated. Just thaw out 2 of those bags. We can just cook the chicken real fast. It's easy, and then throw all that in there together. And I just portioned out all of the chili, and each container has about 6 cups of chili in it. And I made several meals for it. So we have 2 ham and chilies. We have 2 hash brown chilies. We got 1 regular chili. Raylan wants tater tot chili. If not, we'll just do that as chili burritos. I got some Fritos to make Frito chili. We did a cinnamon roll. Everyone decided we're gonna do that tonight. I've never actually had cinnamon rolls with chili. Josh said people normally have it on the side, but we're gonna bake it up and see how it is. This is chili, biscuits cut on top, and cheese. And then this will be for when we do chili dogs, and I put the rest of those cooked onions from earlier in there. And the older girls and I got the pizzas together. We made 25 personal size pizzas, 10 pepperoni, 7 sausage, and 8 cheese. So I got them stacked in here, and I individually wrapped them all. For now, they're just in this freezer so I can get them frozen. Right now, I'm gonna have to go through and reorganize my deep freezer because currently I have no more space. So I'm running into that, but I do have a bunch of bread that's in the freezer, and I think some of it's frostbitten, so I might have to toss that. I'll just throw it out for the birds or something, or I'll make some croutons. I might actually, if it's frostbitten, I won't make croutons, but I'm gonna have to clean it out to get all of this stuff in there, and I'm still not done. The ham that I cut, that was only half of the ham that I had bought. I still have another 10 pounds of hamburger. I'm gonna do a portion of that with pre-made burgers, and then I may do another burrito or something in there. And then I still have all of the breakfast sandwiches to do. Now, if I would have gotten up this morning like I told myself I was gonna do, I would have finished all this stuff, but I didn't. So I got tomorrow free again. I'm gonna finish that tonight. I'm gonna have to organize the freezer just to get this stuff in there because, like I said, right now I don't have space. So here's the end of day 2. We have 22 meals so far, 25 personal pizzas, and 17 breakfast burritos. So 2 days and all of that food, I say that is an extremely big, successful batch cooking. And I say 2 days, and that's really just, I've been working for about 6 hours today. Last night I probably cooked for maybe 3. So technically a day. And if I would have been a little bit more organized, I probably could have cut the time down a lot. I'm not complaining about it. I think it's good. I'm ready to bake dinner for tonight, and I am going to relax instead of finishing the rest of everything. So I will see you tomorrow. final recap of everything that I've done in the last technically 3 days. We have 1 beef burrito, 1 enchilada, 3 lasagnas, 2 Italian pasta, 1 fajita, 3 pork chops, 2.5 breakfast bakes, 1 sloppy joe, 25 personal pizzas, 10 pepperoni, 7 sausage, 8 cheese, 2 chili hash brown bakes, 1 cinnamon roll chili bake, we ate that last night, 1 chili Frito pie, 2 ham and chili bakes, 1 thing of chili dogs, well, it's the chili for the chili dogs, 2 broccoli ham and cheese hash brown bakes, 1 cheesy broccoli ham and rice bake. That one doesn't have the rice in it. I'll just add that to it. I ran out of space in the pan. 17 breakfast burritos, 47 breakfast sandwiches. That's 11 egg and sausage, 10 ham and egg, and 26 ham and sausage with no eggs. And then I still have that hamburger, so I can make whatever I want with that, probably tacos or something. But I may be able to get actually 2 more meals out of that. So total, that is 24 dinner meals, 25 lunches, or those are the pizzas. So for 6 of us, that's not that many days. And then that is 64 breakfast meals. That's incredible. That's huge. This is going to last us for quite some time. And what I'm actually going to do is start trying to go through the freezer of some of the stuff that we already had pre-packaged before I started prepping anything. And I'm going to try to start leaving that out of there. That way I'll have more space, and as we go through some of these pre-prepped meals, I can keep adding to them, and I won't have to buy a whole grocery list of stuff. And then the times that I do go to the store, it's just going to be for like the essentials, milk, eggs. So yeah, extremely successful. It's a huge weight off of my shoulders. I'm excited. Thank you for watching.